The much disputed amendment to the Local Government Act was passed in April, with the Council of Indigenous Peoples holding a public hearing regarding the change July 3rd. The Legislative Yuan passed the amendment to the Local Government Act April 3rd, finalizing the legal basis for zoning Taiwan into 3 municipalities. The Council of Indigenous Peoples, CIP, held a public hearing July 3rd to collect feedback to prepare for the next amendment to the act. About 30 people discussed indigenous seats in city and county councils.
There should be additional seats for the indigenous on the councils. Otherwise, considering the wide population gap between the indigenous and non-indigenous, it will certainly affect indigenous representation.
I think that adding indigenous seats is doable. In Hualien and Taitung counties, where indigenous populations are higher, I think that it would be better for indigenous participation if the system to remain the same. According to the amendment, indigenous townships may be leveraged to form special administrative districts. Those present at the meeting, however, were divided about whether the district head should be indigenous. The division head should be indigenous, with there be no differentiation between those from mountains or plains. An indigenous township is different from other administrative districts. I totally agree that indigenous are the best candidates to serve as district heads. Given approval of the amendment, it is possible that district heads might be appointed by the central government. Some representatives think that it would be better to adopt two systems, one for employment and the other for appointments.
We can have two systems, one to employ the current township head or senior councilors, the other to appoint one public official as division head.
The CIP said the opinions will be reported to the Ministry of Interior, MOI.
Well, as long as it is constitutional, the CIP will guarantee the political rights of the indigenous. We will deliver the feedback to the MOI and Central Election Commission. Our principle is to guarantee the political participation of the indigenous, which has to be maintained at a certain percentage.
The Indigenous Autonomous Regions Act, however, is still the final goal.
We hope that the CIP drafts the Indigenous Autonomous Regions Act as soon as possible. Otherwise, the indigenous will lose some of their political rights.
The MOI says the amendment regarding indigenous political rights will be finalized in August and sent to the Legislative Yuan for review. TITV Weekly.